in summary,
Yeah.
was it free, fair, and credible election?
Yeah,
Being an IT expert, not a politician. I know you're not even a politician, but
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
Nigerian, as an
Yeah.
IT expert, would you say that all that transpired during from 5th of February down till the governorship election, was it free, fair, credible?
Yeah, it's relative.
Why is it relative?
Because okay,
That sounds like a politician.
No. I see.
It's either here or it's there.
No.
You're not sitting on the fence.
Okay, no, not sitting on the fence. But see, some of the technology worked and some did not work. So you can give it a pass of, let's say, 65 to 70.
65 looks good. Okay. So
technology
technology-wise.
yeah.
Okay.
Use of technology.
Okay. Alveda King, an American activist and author, once said, "When you see the political parties squabble, if a baby is not allowed to be born, all other issues do not come into play." Okay. All right, so our last one is from John Lynch, who is an actor and novelist. He once said, "We will not agree on every issue, but let us respect those differences and respect one another. Let us recognize that we do not serve an ideology or a political party. We serve the people." Absolutely spot on. Now let's see how this quote relates to what we'll be discussing today. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Of course, I am Annabel Orji. Now, for the governing All Progressive Congress, APC, and its federal lawmakers, the gloves are off in the ongoing scramble for principal offices in the incoming 10th National Assembly. Members-elect on the party's platform have indicated that they may treacherously change allegiance and renege from the party's zoning arrangement. This crisis rocking the party over the leadership of the 10th National Assembly got to the point of highest tension when the party's leadership officially confirmed the endorsement of former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, as Senate President and Tajuddin Abbas as Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 10th National Assembly by the party leaders. The party made the announcement after a meeting of a National Working Committee held by the parties in the party's National Secretariat here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, according to them, they said that the zoning arrangement reported to the NWC is as follows. For Senate, as you have Senate President South Senator Godswill Akpabio from Akwa Ibom, Deputy Senate President from Northwest Senator Barau Jibrin from Kano State, and then for the House of Representatives Speaker, that's out of a House of Representatives Speaker should be from the Northwest, that's Honorable Abbas Tajuddin from Kaduna, and Deputy Speaker Southeast Honorable Ben Kalu from Abia State. Now this for the stated, and quote, "We urge our party leaders, members, and all Nigerians to continue to work for peace and progress of our country during and beyond the current period of leadership transition." End of quote. Well, that seems to be the case on the way, as this obviously didn't go down well with some members of the party. So, while some are busy trying to mend fences and make others, like the make offers like ministerial offers and some other offers, some others are chanting the solidarity song, "We no go gree yo." Now, in the other news, have you received any unsolicited or maybe solicited message recently, that's depending on which side of the fence you're sitting or standing at the moment, from the PTC that reads, "United we stand and divided we fall. Let's put our differences aside and work together to support for the success of the new administration towards a secured future for our nation. Nigeria, better together." Have you gotten such message? And can I get a witness? I'm sure some of you can relate to this. Well, we will get better explanation as to why all of these messages through and why is it coming now? My guest on the show today is, because I have two guests on the show, Dr. Ibrahim Gaya. He is Special Advisor to Kano State Governor on Rural and Community Development. And we also have Ibrahim Mujtaba, who is an IT and development expert. Ladies and gentlemen, Let's get to this conversation after this timeout. Join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to our conversation for today. And I have two guests on the show, like I told you earlier. So our first guest is Dr. Ibrahim Gaya. He is SA Rural and Community Development to Kano State Governor. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much.
Great. And my next guest is Ibrahim Mujtaba. He is an IT and development expert. It's good to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Annabel.
Great. All right, so let's head down to our conversation for today, but we'll start with you, Mr. Mujtaba. Let's start with, because I noticed, I'm sure not only me, but then a lot of people will say that they noticed some unsolicited messages being sent to their phone from PTC. And I'll read some of the messages. United we stand, divided we fall. Let's put our differences aside and work together to support the new government for the success of the new administration towards a secured future for our nation, Nigeria. Nigeria, better together. So I'm wondering, when you get this kind of messages, why didn't we get this kind of messages during the elections, or during at that time when there were tensions? Why exactly? Because I know that you are from the APC and these messages are coming from your party.
Well, actually, let me start that by saying categorically I'm not a politician, actually. I'm an IT and development enthusiast. I can't deny the fact that I support governments, irrespective of party affiliation, people in government, security outfits, finance, to use my expertise to add value to what they're doing, or come up with policies in line with what's trending in the fourth industrial revolution. So
one way or the other, you know about these messages, right?
Yeah. No, not particularly. I'm going to start from a particular angle. I don't want to just relate it to just this specific line of messaging generally.
Okay.
Because it concerns Nigerians and it concerns communication, of course, in extension, politics as well, events. Your question said, why wouldn't they send this message during the
elections? Why now? And why are we even getting these messages?
Okay, like the web space is just like an uncontrolled environment. It's controlled, so to say, but I say it's uncontrolled because devices, people are connected real time 24/7, and it's a terrain that everybody does what they want. Government there and regulators are there in place to, just like the police, to keep people on check.
Okay.
So now this unsolicited messages came as a result of bulk SMS, who as at the comfort of my office or home, I can buy the bulk messaging service and just send messages to the database of the number of people or Nigerians available at my disposal, not categorically from that particular organization the message claims to be. It can go either way. It's relative. So I'm talking to it now from an IT perspective. Now, if you want to talk from communication perspective, I've not seen any particular circular that mandated the PTC to per se reach out to people. But I cannot comment per se on the authenticity of such unsolicited message, because it might not be emanate from that office in the first place, because bulk SMS is a service that anybody can buy. Just that some of the networks now are trying as much as possible to do DND, that's do not disturb.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So your entity or that service provider that.
So do not disturb. Do I have access? Can I have access to
Absolutely.
do not disturb?
Yeah, you can enable do not disturb on your phone, and phones like more especially like the big ones, the iPhone, Samsung, have that automatic features. Do not disturb.
All Android phones?
Yeah, but you have to enable it. And
okay.
now the provider, that's the network company, MTN, I know, okay, they have do not disturb, and they're trying to, via in collaboration with NCC, trying to stop or manage the movement of all those unsolicited messages, like for you to be able to send those messages and that message categorically read the particular entity, you have to pass that test. You have to send some of your documents to know that, okay, you are genuine, because even cyber attackers can act like they're one and send that message. It might be one day maybe a message that's harmless, but another time it might be a message that can harm you. Maybe you click a link and from there, you know, so many things can happen.
Get malware or something.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because you talked about the telcos. Now, I'm just wondering, how were they even able to get people's contacts to send these messages? Because I suppose that there must be a synergy between the PTC or whoever that is sending the bulk SMS and the telcos. And if you ask me, I think that is illegal, because my contact is my privacy. So it means that at some point, maybe they have to buy time or buy into people's privacy or data. So how were they able to get into such links? Is there anything that has to do with the NIN, and does it have any synergy there? Okay,
you know, it's complex, but let me go back to the first statement I made. The internet is an open space. That's the conventional internet. This is a whole topic on its own. We're talking about the conventional web and the dark web. Dark web consumes more than 96% of something that you don't know. What we use is 4%. And you have different services. You have access to information. Let me, in Nigeria currently, we have the NDPR, Data Protection Rights.
Okay.
Then you have the Bureau, Data Protection Bureau. I think it came to be after the wake of COVID, you know, and the level of awareness among this, the compliance to these entities or these rights, it's still a work in process. So people might not really be aware of it. Organizations are not adhering to it. But now I can remember in 2022 at a conference, some of the officials participated, and I can remember she made mention of the data protection officers, whom, of course, legal practitioners should be encouraged to.
I recall Kaftan TV covered that report.
Improving their capacity, even according to the CPPA 2015, that's Cyber Crime Prevention and Protection Act. I think section 45, subsection 3. So it made mention that law enforcement officers, legal practitioners needs to improve on the capacity to understand dynamics on this. Then back to the question. I can easily have access to a database of numbers, black market, of course.
Oh, really? So there's a black market for it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's the dark web we're talking about.
I think
that's a whole.
We need to bring you back to come and explain what do all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. In the wake of COVID 2020, according to statistics, digital economy is going to contribute 60% of the economy, the global economy, by I think 2025, according to World Economic Forum. But COVID has catapulted this back, and now we are already witnessing the what they call it, the feel that the impact of digital economy, because now you're talking about even AI replacing jobs, conventional jobs, and yet we are yet to adopt. That one is another topic on its own. So these things are interrelated, you know, like having access to information. To summarize it, having access to information is very, very easy. I can easily get access to numbers, database numbers, and, you know, black market, of course. That's just all
right. So we know that you're not a politician, but you're an IT expert. What exactly do you do for APC? What kind of service do you render, or IT solutions are you offering?
Okay. One, in the course of campaign, we look at all the manifestos. We look at APC manifesto. We look at that's the leading candidates. We look at PDP manifesto. Then we looked at also Labour Party manifesto. Then, okay, since we're an IT and development experts, we look at the critical components that concerns us, our business, because we want to be part of the whole process. And you cannot effect a change from outside. You know, you cannot throw stones. So you can either be in politics or create a change from within. Then we look at, we settle for the APC manifesto that says renewed hope. Then we look at some of the critical components: women empowerment, social programs, youth empowerment and entrepreneurship, digital economy. So we've been actively involved in different subcommittees of government, doing one development plan or the other, or doing policies that guides the implementation of IT policies, finance, security, business, and generally MSMEs, private sector. So now we say, okay, this let's relate to the reality of these critical components within the occupational demography that decides an outcome of an election. Politicians are busy doing rallies, town hall. We say, okay, let's flip the chart, come up with a strategy that will talk to Nigerians like heart to heart, irrespective to what the politicians said that they're going to do. So we said, okay, we are going to do it different, even though we are not politicians, but we have to infuse what we do in line with what the politicians brought to the fore. That's how I'm telling the story now. That's how we started that. We embarked on that meetup series. We call it Sights and Sounds of Renewed Hope. So the aim is to share the gospel of the Renewed Hope Manifesto through its signs and sounds. But first, you have to understand the realities within these critical components. Okay. So that's what we did. We had in Abuja, we had in Kano, we had in Lagos. And after the election, we said, okay, we're not going to just stop there. Now, we have to realize the Renewed Hope Manifesto. So we culled from different aspects of the manifesto, more especially within this critical focus, and we're doing account and engagement, continued engagement, so that the politicians, people that will be in the executive, will be remembered. Oh, we promised a renewed hope. This not business as usual, and you have to. How long do you have to
put a check to it? Is it just for the election?
No, it's continuous.
Throughout
it's continuous.
The administration.
Throughout the administration, and also the legislators as well. That's the 10th Assembly. You know, the 10th Assembly should not be business as usual. It's not going to be like the fact that, okay, legislators or senators, distinguished senators, are just looking at things from the juicy committees aspect of things, but rather now relating or coming up with bills or programs or supervising the executive so that the renewed hope will be achieved. So
okay, now let's bring it down to the ordinary understanding of the ordinary Nigerian. Okay. Now you go to the market, okay, and the market is saying that things are so expensive. A kilo of meat is 3,500 naira, but then NBS is coming up with the inflation figures saying that the inflation, it looks quite good. So how do you bring your job, sights and sound, to all of this? Mention all of them.
Okay, now you have to look at things from maybe 3 or 4 perspectives. Global upheavals, then your fiscal and monetary policy, then what the Apex Bank have been doing. So that's when the National Assembly have to come in place. You have to learn from the mistakes you've done in the past, let's say 8 years. Since, okay, you want to relate it from maybe, for instance, 2015, where things tend to go the other direction. So now you have to look at, okay, now government have said, okay, they've come up with policies, interventions that will bring succor, you know, to the ordinary Nigerian. Let me give an example with
let's use poverty, for example.
Okay, there's a social
lifting 100 million people away from poverty.
Okay,
let's start with that.
Yes, okay, there's the social investment program, but now
that's the trader money, market money.
So now, okay, if you want to assess the impact to the reality or the macroeconomic level, okay, you will be able to see that, okay, definitely there's a disconnect somewhere, because the reality on ground, the number of jobs created, or the number of people lifted out of poverty is not related. It's not reflecting on the number of releases.
So where did the disconnect come from?
Okay, implementation, of course. So you have to change.
As the government
the
implementing their
yes,
programs.
Yes, it might be okay. Focus on the numbers per se. Okay, the number of our economy has, but the macroeconomic level. You know, generally in Africa, more especially in emerging markets, emerging countries, we have that missing middle. That's okay. You have the lower class and you have the higher class. So you keep on struggling at a lower class, then higher class, you keep on going. You don't have the middle. So that's the missing middle. So the incoming administration have to pay a significant attention. And that's why we say, okay, through our sights and sounds, we tax ourselves. Nobody even tax us. We're even funding ourselves. You know.
Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Like I told you, what we do is financial inclusion, IT inclusion, and development. So the little that we're able to get, that's our CSR. Because we're even tired of...
Are you expecting to get something in return?
Well, actually, what I expect is an economy, a macro economy that works.
Okay.
Yeah. When that works, definitely. Of course, for instance...
It touches on you.
Oh, yeah. I render my services and, for instance, we are in the digital age. But yet... the MSMEs are not adopting, right? So them adopting, they're not doing me good. They're doing themselves and their businesses good. When you adopt, that means you've take 10 steps in growth, and there are practical examples. Just outfits that just came less than 1 year or 2 year fintechs. They've grown, to billions of turnover and transaction because the service is needed. So you as an MSME, why don't you adopt? So if you adopt, because look, we've missed out on the third industrial revolution, and we're at the brink of missing out on the fourth industrial revolution, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we say, since as we can't work in silos, we have to be part of the process. If we are to do it as a sights and sounds of renewed hope, then definitely we are going to come up with all our expertise and our partners to achieve what we want to achieve.
All right, before I go to Dr. Gaya, I'm going to ask you your sights and sounds, starting from the elections. Let's talk about the elections with all that happened during the elections across board. Presidential election, House of Assembly elections, and state governors election, and state assembly elections, all that happened. And then you have a lot of people who have the tension, they feel disgruntled, feel that they feel cheated, and they're trying to reclaim their mandate, their stolen mandate, like they say. What would you say with regard to that election? Was it free, fair, credible? Leaving party aside.
Well, I think I've commented on this. First, you have to look at it from different perspectives. One, the umpire, right? The antecedents, what they've come up with, or what how things are in the last dispensation, that's 2019, 2015, and 2010. I think the whole reform started during late Eradua's time, when he admitted that the process is flawed. He admitted then. So to address the situation, he has to embark on reforms, which he did, and he unfortunately he passed away, and President Goodluck Jonathan then ascended to power, and he appointed Jiga, and that's when we brought the card reader innovation of a thing, because in the past you have multiple registrations, like one person can register 10 different places across states, and of course within that particular time he can cast his vote just according to the way he registered. So the card reader just took that out of the equation. Then flaws, comments, it's a process. I would just want to do a historical review, then I'll drop here. Then in 2019, not much was done, but relating to performance or infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, I mean technology. The INEC now has a CVR portal. You can also register at the comfort of your home, and you can even confirm or you move, or you change your PU according to. These are all advancement over the time. Then in 2023, beavers. That's bimodal voter accreditation system. The guideline was on election day, the beavers is going to accredit it first, either using your facial recognition or your thumbprint to ensure that, okay, you are who you said you are, and you cast your votes. And according to guidelines, you beavers has to accredit before to validate that particular PU results. Without beavers, that can be cancelled. So these are just guidelines. I'm not per se trying to say this or that.
Okay, so now would you actually say that the beavers did the job that it was supposed to do in real time? What would you say with regards to the results, the outcome of the elections, and what the beavers were supposed to do? Yeah,
the beavers worked in accrediting the voters, but the transmission, we were told that transmission were not able to transmit
the
online,
presidential
results in real time. But that's what everybody was expecting. Unfortunately, because of technical glitches, according to them. And if you look at it from the perspective of things, because I monitored the what they call it, the IRF portal on that election day. I monitored it independently. Like initially, the interface, you have a user, that you have an accreditation system. You need to authenticate first before accessing that beavers, that IRF per se. But on that election day, it was somehow not working. Okay,
so in summary, was it free, fair, and credible election? Being an IT expert, not a politician. I know you're not even a politician, but as a Nigerian, as an IT expert, would you say that all that transpired during from 5th of February down till the governorship election, was it free, fair, credible?
Yeah, it's relative.
Why is it relative?
Because
that sounds like a politician.
No. I see.
It's either here or it's there.
No.
You're not sitting on the fence.
Okay, no, not sitting on the fence. But see, some of the technology worked and some did not work. So you can give it a pass of, let's say, 65 to 70.
65 looks good. Okay. So
technology based, okay. Use of technology.
Okay, great. Let's come to you, Dr. Gaya. Would you actually say that election, being a politician, would you agree that we had a free, fair, credible elections? Because we have people who have decided to judge it by all that happened in previous elections. So if you have to rate, since Mr. Mujtaba said 65, what would be your rating? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. What would you rate it for?
Yes, viewers, good day, viewers. And as the presenter just mentioned, I'm talking from the perspective of majority of Nigerians, and the way we look at the entire program or the entire election of 2023. Actually, from the lower part of the percentage, I could give it 70%. But generally, the election was about 80% effective and 80% good job. And the election was so perfect compared to the other elections that has.
Oh, really? Okay, no, let's stay on 1 to 10. Yeah. What would you do? What would you rate?
8.
Oh wow, 8 is good then. So that means you agree that
very good,
it's better than the previous
It's better than the previous elections.
Why would you say so?
Because you see, most of the things that emanated from the previous elections, we are not seeing in this 2023 because of the use of beavers and other technology. Because we're advancing in technology. So as I talk to you now, 2027 election, I'm quite sure it's going to be more than this. It's going to be more effective and more versatile than this, because we are progressing in terms of information and communication technology. I'm also into information and communication technology, apart being a politician.
Oh, okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and a professional facility manager as well.
Okay.
So you see, we need to venture into politics, as Ibrahim just said, in order to make some kind of corrective, in order to take some kind of corrective measures by the politicians. That's why we are, for instance, myself, that's why I'm into politics.
Oh, okay. So like that's a narrative.
The dynamics.
That narrative where they say that politics is a dirty game. So it's your kind that just come in to wash it up.
Yes, it's not a dirty game. That's my own observation.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, we actually do for a break, but before we go on that break, let's rate the outgoing administration, that's President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, compared with, because we've done the rating for the elections. So now let's do ratings with regards to administration, security, all and that happened during this last 8 years, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, taking a cue from the recent report on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. That was a few days ago that I saw. It says 17 years after, let me take it from, it says 17 years after Paris Club relief, external debt rises to $41.8 billion from $2.19 billion during the Obasanjo administration to $7.3 billion during the late Yar'Adua, God bless his soul, and good luck Ebele Jonathan's administration, but currently sits at $41.8 billion. What are your rating? You see, to be honest and sincere, there are a lot of indices that resulted to that. You see, if the external, you are taking of external debt, right? External debt. Yes, external debt. You see, there's no way you could take it away, because we definitely need, the government needs to make sure that the electorate or the generality of Nigerians enjoy the dividend of democracy, one. And secondly, there's no way you could be able to do that if there's no, if the what do they call it? The internal generated revenue cannot be able to take up that. You mean from the different states? Yeah, from different states. So you need to have some kind of succor from other side of the monetary aspect in order to balance it up. So for the debt increasing to that, in fact, it's not a positive thing, but definitely generality of Nigerians, they need to at least feel the impact and positiveness of government. So I don't see it's something that's so worrisome at this time. So sorry, I have to cut it in there. You said that generality of Nigerians need to feel the positive impact of governance. Yeah. Now, if you have to put yourself in the shoes of Nigerians out there, not as a politician or as an IT expert, as a Nigerian first, would you actually say that you felt the dividends of democracy, governance in the last 8 years? Yes, of course. Of course. Of course. There are dividends of democracy to the downtrodden Nigerian, because there are a lot of activities that were carried on under the office of the vice president of the country, that is Yemi Osinbajo. There's this market money, there's this trader money. There are a lot of things that goes round, and I'm telling you, most of the lower Nigerians, I mean the ones that I can call downtrodden Nigerians, they have gotten a lot of loans, they've gotten a lot of monies and different type of empowerment in order for them to have positive impact in their businesses during the last 8 years. And you can bear me witness that the government really done a lot for the downtrodden people in Nigeria, without any iota of doubt and without any recourse to that. All right, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation. We have lots of things to discuss on this conversation. The 10th Assembly leadership is still right there, so you don't want to miss this part of the show. Join us again. Give you an instance. In Akwa Ibom State, what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu got in the votes during the presidential election, when you add it up, it's more than what the Southeast gave to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So are you saying that's the reason why? And I'm telling you, go to and I'm telling you, in politics, even in your house, he who contributed a lot toward your success is he who will get lots during sharing formula. So that's the reason why it has to go to him. Yes, it's among the reasons, because he contributed immensely to the emergence of this government, and at the same time, he gave the government a lot of votes. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you actually just joined us, you missed out on a whole lot. But then you can still join on the conversation as our guest on the show. Like I said, we have two guests. Our first guest is Dr. Ibrahim Gaya. He is SA Rural and Community Development. That's to Kano State Governor. And we also have Ibrahim Mujtaba, who is an IT and development expert. All right, before we went on that break, we're actually rating President Buhari's administration, the outgoing administration. Now let's talk about the 10th Assembly leadership, National Assembly leadership, and your party. I understand that the crisis rocking the APC, that's your party, over the leadership of the 10th Assembly got to the point of highest tension when the party leadership officially, few days ago, confirmed the endorsement of former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who as the Senate President, and Tajuddin Abbas as Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 10th National Assembly by the party leaders. Let's start with that first. What can you tell us?
Yes, thank you for this, your question regarding the 10th Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I'm talking purely on the perspective of being a politician. You see, as a special advisor to His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kano State or Rural and Community Development, I doubled as member of Grassroots Engagement and Orientation Directorate of the Presidential Campaign Council, that is PCC, and as a one-time gubernatorial candidate of Kano State. So I think with all this, I think I have, let me put it, I have a vast experience on politicking to an extent. So let's come to the perspective of the National Assembly. You see, in politics, definitely there has to be some rancor, there has to be some side talks, there has to be some kind of, in some issues, the winner take it all. But in this case of the 10th Assembly, it's not business as usual, it's business unusual.
Oh, really?
Because the APC make sure we make sure we sit down and look at it critically well, not to make a very huge mistake in selecting the leadership of House of Representatives and the Senate. And the party being the overall umbrella of all the politicians and the elected members, it needs to look at it very well, critically well, to do a SWOT analysis on those that we think can man the leadership of the 10th Assembly, not to repeat the type of mistake that has been done before.
Before, when are you speaking of in this contest?
Yes, of course. There was a time that in the 8th Assembly that there was kind of rancor within the leadership of the Senate, which brought someone that is the leader, I mean the president of the Senate, from a party different from the deputy Senate president, which is during the time of distinguished Senator Olushola Saraki. But they did it well because they understood themselves properly well and they managed it well. So now the 10th Assembly will not want to leave any stone unturned. So the leadership of the party made a SWOT analysis by presenting distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, based on his vast experience, based on the leadership he has attained before even coming to the Senate. This is a person that has been a leader from the word go. During his primary school days, he has been a leader. In secondary school days in Port Harcourt, he has been the head of students. In his university days, he has become the president of the student union of a university. At the same time, in political cycle, he was once the commissioner for Niger Delta in Akwa Ibom State. Sorry, commissioner for petroleum resources. Then on and on, deputy, minority whip in the Senate. At the same time, executive governor of a state. So all those qualities stand him out in the whole Senate. And again, the APC zoned the seat of the Senate presidency to the South-South. And I'm telling you, there's no candidate, there's no any strong candidate, there's no any qualified candidate in the Senate that outweigh distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio due to those qualities I mentioned. And again, they picked the deputy from the Northwest. And Northwest in Nigeria are the ones that gave massive votes.
So are you saying that even those that are saying Emilokan, they don't stand the kind of qualities that he has? Is that what you're saying?
No, they stand the type of quality, but want it to go round. Want it to go round. At least the South-South has contributed a lot to the emergence of this government. Likewise, the Northwest. Likewise, the Northwest. And at the same time, this Muslim ticket is what we are trying to avoid in the APC. Because Nigerians were one.
But you started it first.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. The president is a Muslim and the vice president is a Muslim.
That's what I'm saying. Your party started it first.
But what I'm trying to let you know is based on criteria. It's based on zoning. They zoned the vice presidentship to the Northeast. And the Northeast produced a Muslim person. They can produce anybody. They can produce anybody. Not that it is in the best interest of the party to produce a Muslim or a Christian, but this seat is for the Northeast. So go Northeast, produce somebody, and they produce. Okay,
so you're saying that it had to be by region, ethnicity, not religion.
Yes, it's by ethnicity, purely by ethnicity. It's not by religion. It's by zoning. Sorry to use this. It's by zoning, and they zone it to the Northeast, and the Muslim emerge. And they go with the Southwest candidate, which is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And to avoid that in the Senate, that is the reason why we think the South-South candidate should emerge as the candidate of the party.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, we're going to touch on your choice of leader, that's Senator Godswill Akpabio. We'll go back to that later on. So and
his deputy, Senator Barau Jibrin from Kano North Senatorial District, which is also a competent person in Senate.
All right. So then, after the APC officially announced that it had zoned the key leadership to of the Senate and the House, the upper chamber of the National Assembly, the Southeast senators led by Senator Ibrahim Uba, contended saying that Southeast deserved the office of the Senate presidency for fairness, equity, and balance, to balance the equation. That's the word that he used in distribution of key positions in Nigeria, and then that's what he called it. So, and that the Southeast senators have unanimously agreed that the position should go to the region. So, don't you think otherwise?
You see, politics is a game of number. It's a game of number.
So who has the numbers?
He who contributed to the emergence of you winning in politics must be given an upper hand. Must be given an upper hand. Let me give you an instance. In Akwa Ibom State, what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu got in the votes during the presidential election, when you add it up, it's more than what the Southeast gave to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So are you saying that's the reason why?
And I'm telling you,
go to
and I'm telling you, in politics, even in your house, he who contributed a lot toward your success is he who will get lots during sharing formula.
So that's the reason why it has to go to him.
Yes, it's among the reasons, because he contributed immensely to the emergence of this government, and at the same time, he gave the government a lot of votes. That's why the Northwest is given the chance to produce the president, the deputy president of the Senate. Because
why does it sound like compensation here? You did well, so I'm compensating you with the Senate presidency.
Do you know something? Yeah, as I told you, it depends on how you contributed to the emergence of any politician. And even in your home, I'm telling you this, anybody that assisted you in life in any ramification when sharing, definitely lots have to go to that person for fairness. And again, we're not saying the Southeast doesn't have a competent person to man the National Assembly. But we are telling you that the South contributed immensely to the
More than the
emergence of this
Southeast?
government. Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuring without any iota of doubt or contradiction.
Okay. But then, why exactly did your party leadership officially confirm the endorsement of former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, that's Senator Godswill Akpabio, as the Senate President? What makes Senator Godswill Akpabio the best man for that position, according to, by extension, your party, according to you, and by extension, your party? Because I will take you down memory lane. Nigerians have not forgotten. Nigerians don't forget even those. A lot of people think that sometimes we have selective amnesia, but then we don't. So we recall very well what happened in July 2020, where Nigerians were treated to an absurd entertainment that had a reverting effect at the National Assembly, orchestrated by a panel probing the misappropriation of an alleged 8.15 billion naira from the coffers of the Niger Delta Commission, that's NDDC. Now, the financial recklessness of that agency, which was set up to alleviate the sufferings and the miseries of the people of the Niger Delta region, and called for widespread probing, where Nigerians were looking forward to. And then we also recall how much hope that having hope that the perpetrators would definitely be brought to book, going by the stance of President Muhammadu Buhari's and chant on stopping corruption in the country, now leading, and all that led to the laughable and dramatic "It's okay, honorable, off your mic." Nigerians will not forget that, all that happened during that time, and quite a number of dramatic, and up until now, a lot of people will still remember all that happened. Now, if we have to look at all of that, taking back all that in memory lane, why Senator Godswill Akpabio again?
You see, Nigerians, you can't stop Nigerians from propaganda everywhere, more especially if a politician has the chances of growth. Let me take you back again to the memory lane. There's no governor that has ever done what Senator Godswill Akpabio did in his state, in Akwa Ibom State. He has reformed that state. He has opened a lot of internal generated revenue in the state. He has governed the state excellently well for him coming back second term, and the votes he got during the second time and the overwhelming support he has during second time in office outweigh the first time in office. Why? Because of the fundamental and developmental projects he embarked in the state.
Okay.
That propelled him to be elected at the same time as a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But you're diverting from my question. My question about the honorable off your mic. We've not forgotten that part. So if you have to judge that, we understand that he did well when he was the governor of the state.
Yeah.
But if we have to look at that, why do we have to choose him again?
The reason why we have to choose him, because he's an astute administrator, one, and he's performed credibly well in the Senate. We're talking of the Senate now. He has performed credibly well in the Senate, and is among those that really assisted what do they call it? The three tier of government. I mean, the judiciary and the can you please help me out?
Executive.
Executive.
The executives.
And legislature.
Yes, he has performed credibly well, and he's somebody that is well respected by all in the Senate, and he has vast experience to lead the Senate. That was the reason why the APC handpicked him to say, this is the guy that will take us there. This is the person that will work assiduously with the judiciary, at the same time with the what do they call them?
Executive.
With the executives. So so the APC has not made any mistake in picking Godswill Akpabio due to his vast experiences and antecedents. And we're not regretting in picking him, because we know he's the person that is going to unite the whole country.
Okay.
And something you don't know about Godswill Akpabio is he doesn't know the North, he doesn't know the South, he has friends everywhere. And if I should tell you a lot of things that this gentleman has done in the northern part of this country, you will be amazed. When he was the governor, he sent a lot of Muslims to pilgrimage to Hajj to Saudi Arabia. He built a lot of mosques in the northern part of this country. Almost all his friends are from the north. So a lot of people don't know what he has done for this country. It's we that are here to tell the generality of Nigerians who Senator Godswill Akpabio is. He's an astute gentleman that has Nigerian at heart and Nigeria at heart.
Okay.
So that was the reason why the APC picked him. And I'm assuring you now he has started getting momentum in the House, in the Senate. Even those parties, those political parties that are not APC, they have started knowing that this guy is the right choice for us to be our leader in the Senate. And they have started rallying around him, giving him all the support he needed because of his antecedents.
But then you have members elect of your party platform that they've indicated that they may treacherously change their allegiance and renege from your party, talking about with regards to this zoning arrangement. So as according to them, that there are indications that they may decide to decamp from the APC. So what will you say to that effect?
You see, all this is just to be in the limelight. They know they are not capable to become the leaders of the house. They know they are not capable to become the position, to be in the position of the Senate presidency. And do you know something? They are just blowing their trumpet. And at the same time, in politics, everybody has chance. You have all the right to come out and contest in any position. So they have the right to come. But I'm telling you, we are all the same family, and at the same time now, consultation are going around for them to make sure they support Senator Godswill Akpabio. Not because they are not capable to contest, but I'm telling you, now there are consultations going around, and I'm assuring you, within some few days, they will come back as the same family to join hands together for the success of Senator Godswill Akpabio to emerge as the next Senate president of this country. I'm going to
come back to, especially where you just landed, but let's come to you, Mr. Mujtaba, with all that he said, choosing Senator Godswill Akpabio. Now, as an IT expert, putting your sights and sounds, like you talked about, to the renewed hope. Why Senator Godswill Akpabio? Why not the other person chanting Emilokon? Why not another person again?
Okay, you might like or dislike Godswill Akpabio, you know, but
also remembering, like I asked him, all that happened, the dramatic events during the honorable off your mic.
Yeah, you know, in governance generally, we just see things, or we just preview. We are just in preview of things that happen on the surface, and you don't know what happened behind the scenes. Just like in IT, you just see the front end, but you don't know what's going on in the back end. Like failed transactions, you don't know exactly what happened. Transactional log files completed, trying to automate auto growth. So many things happens. So it cut across all spheres of life. So
so in this context, are you saying we just only saw all that happened at the surface? Yes,
at the surface.
Oh, really?
Now, yeah, absolutely. If you dig deep, you'll be so surprised of, you know, how each one ministry or department and agency have their modus operandi. In fact, even FEC, if you don't understand how to play with the processes of FEC, your memos will not be even see the light of the day as sitting minister. So that's how things, and it's not just peculiar to this climb, it's also peculiar to even advanced climes like the US or what they call it, the UK. It happens. Lisa Cross made some certain mistake, and at the end of the day, she had to just resign. You know, because she just assumed, I'm the reformist. I'm just going to come with my team and not looking at other things out of the equation. So now back to the discussion we're having now is like, why Akpabio? My desire is success. If we are saying renewed hope, then definitely let's have an active assembly that will help in realizing that renewed hope. That has to do with the way you handle your executive bills, the money bills, your oversight functions, your committees, your subcommittees, and even your consultation with the executive, like even a government want to partner, for instance, let's according to the housing scheme that the Renewed Hope wants to bring for civil servants, a mortgage, long-term mortgage. So now you might want to ask yourself, where is the money coming from? So now that's where the National Assembly, an active National Assembly, comes in place. Are you getting it from a partnership, foreign partnership, or a particular grant? So now the National Assembly will be there in place, an active that knows what they're doing. Because in reality, the government might not even need 1 naira or 1 kobo. They just need to come up with a sovereign guarantee scheme that will affect the partner, maybe external or local partner, to build. And in exchange, because okay, he wants to be in business, he will be given some modalities to have some low-hanging fruits to make his money, while Nigerians, so civil servants, are benefiting from the long-term mortgage plan. So without an active National Assembly, you're not going to get all this. And I think Akpabio, if you're looking at his antecedents, I'm looking at some legacy projects that he's achieved and backed, which if you're to rate him with other of his colleagues or other governors, they might not, even the ones that have the 13% oil derivation that goes to them, they are not being able to show something like that. And also, as a governor, he went beyond Akwa Ibom. I was even surprised when I got information related regarding this, because in the past I didn't even know that, okay, that's the kind of individual he is. He has even gone beyond impacting on individuals, bodies across Nigeria. So, and you need some serious-minded individual that have proven pedigree within that construct to lead your National Assembly. Others, of course, they can say, okay, they are also capable and competent. But what are they showing? What are their antecedents? Are they now communicating? Are they now relating or discussing their antecedents? Or are they now using this is what we call disruption techniques to now relate with the narration that just subscribes to their interests? Like, for instance, there's a narration going, okay, you can't have the executive, the judiciary from one region, and also the legislature in one single region. That just subscribes to their narration. They're not talking about their antecedents. The serious guys, you see what they're doing now currently. They are reaching out to other party leadership. You know what you're supposed to do as a politician. They're reaching out to other members, other distinguished senators, to say, look, we are assuring you of stability in the 10th Assembly. We are going to be very serious. And we have you at mind, not just the rankers. All right, so because our time is fast spent, in 1 minute, if you can help us, because I keep hearing you talk about active legislature. You talk about we want serious-minded legislatures. Now, the job of the legislature is with regards to oversight functions and then legislate. But you have a lot of people all through the 9th Assembly. They have to judge from the 8th Assembly, saying that the 9th Assembly is rubber-stamped and all of that. Do you agree or not? In 1 minute. Okay, rubber-stamp in the sense that I'm more concerned with a narration where, okay, if the executive says that they're going to do this, let the National Assembly oversight to the judicial conclusion. So would you say that the 9th Assembly, there was oversight when the executive come up with bills, come up with loans, and then all of that? Not much. Yeah. All right. So let's conclude with you, Dr. Gaya. Now, because you talked about how much you have people who have been going out to ensure that there's peace in the house, and then talk to some other aggrieved members of the party. Now, according to the incumbent Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, that's Honorable Ahmed Idris Wasi, he stated, and quote, let me take, he said, when you say you have a consensus candidate, the language for consensus is that there have been mass consultations. People go to the table for discussions. There is an agreement.
But in this case, we just saw and we are hearing rumors, speculations that some people have been made consensus candidates. Then he further stated that I don't know whether that is the meaning of consensus. Now, this place is a very sacred one. We must be honorable in our action and defense in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help us and maybe help Honorable Ahmed understand all that, with all that transpired, is that really consensus?
You see, as a deputy speaker, with due respect to Honorable Wase, as the Deputy Speaker of the Federation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and as an active member of the All Progressive Congress, APC, I found it difficult to agree that that such type of top-ranking party officials or party or leaders are not consulted in one or two things. You see, I find it difficult to convince myself on that. Most probably, you know, if things don't go your way, there's every possibility for you to say a lot of things. But with due respect to our Honorable Deputy House Speaker, I'm quite sure there is consultation that goes round. Maybe if it doesn't go the way anyone wants it, so there's every possibility for the outcry. But I'm assuring you, there are consultations now as I talk to you, consultations from various aspects.
And not the ones
APC.
that, like we heard some members saying that some people are actually going with for the consultation you're talking about might be that's saying that we are going to give you the ministerial role. Don't worry, just allow XYZ person to be the Senate president. Is that the kind of consultation?
All this thing is in the conduct. You're going to hear that later. But what I'm telling you now is the House leader has just relinquished his own ambition to join what the party said. Okay. The party's candidate, which is Abbas from Kaduna State. And I'm assuring you, being a leader like Wase, I'm assuring you that Wase is going to follow the path of the party. Okay. And soon, you will see the narration will change. Yes.
We hope to see so, and we definitely keep tabs on that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of this conversation today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, you've heard it all. That's all we can take for today. We have been chatting with Dr. Ibrahim Gaya, who is SA to Governor of Kano State on Rural and Community Development. We also have Ibrahim Mujtaba, who is an IT and development expert. It has been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. How time flies when we're discussing serious matters that concerns our very own country, Nigeria. Till I come your way again from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabel Orji. God bless you and yours. God bless Nigeria.